got that knocked out on this first line of the beds. It's the
back line. I'm calling it the back line. It's really the right side of all of the garden here. But I got it knocked out.
Howdy farm friends. Well, the holiday winter break has ended at our full-time jobs, and so we are back to weekend warrior status, farming in the evenings and working full-time during the day. And we're a little bit sad about it because we had such a great break here on Head Family Farm with Eleanor and all the animals, and Jaclyn and myself. We really enjoy anytime we get to be here together, and so we are a little bit sad to be going back to work during the day, but we knew it was coming. And honestly, I'm not one to complain about work very much. I really do love my full-time job. I work with some fantastic people, love my teammates. They are awesome. And they're supportive of what we do here, and they're just really generous, great folks. So even though I'm a little sad to be back on weekend warrior status, we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna have some fun in the evenings. And I saw something on Facebook the other day, and I'm trying to make it work in my head, but between the days getting longer and the upcoming daylight savings time change, early spring, it's only like another month and a half until it's not getting dark until 7 p.m. So I'm holding out hope. I didn't do any checking on that, but I'm holding out hope that that's true, because I love it when the days get longer. Eleanor is over there hanging out with her goats. Give us a wave, Eleanor. She's over there hanging out with the goats, loving on them, which is basically where you can find her any given day after school. She's out here with her animals, enjoying the farm life. The chickens, of course, I guarantee you they miss us being around during the day because they get treats a lot more when we're out here during the day. Isn't that right, y'all? And y'all, the pond looks better than it has in a long time in terms of the water level. Gosh, look at these pretty ducks. They are loving this weather right now, though. They love when it's wet. So they are loving it. But right over here, you can see, if y'all have been paying any attention to the pond in our videos over the last, even the last 6 months or so, the pond got lower than it's ever been since we moved here. And now it's up almost as high as it's gotten before. You can see right here where there's not any weeds. That's because that's where the ducks love to hang out the most. And it's a little bit steeper of a drop off into the mud right there. But right here, every now and then that water will come up to about right there. But for the most part, this is about as high as it gets. We've got a nice little spillway over there where excess water gets over the dam, and then there's a drainage pipe right there. So this is about as high as the pond gets, and it's completely drainage fed. So whenever it got low, I didn't get too worried about it because I knew that we were coming into the winter season and that we would get it filled back up. But it's really nice to see it filling back up. Our main focus as we get back into weekend warrior mode is going to be getting the barn ready for the goats, because I hope that y'all saw our last video where we talked about how much we're enjoying having the fencing here for the goats, the Premier One electric net fencing. The goats are loving it because they're getting to hang out all up on their own little hillside pasture over there, getting to be closer to the pond and out with the ducks and chickens. And so the ducks are absolutely loving, the goats are absolutely loving having this fencing out, and so are we. But we need to get their stalls built in the barn, and so that's what we'll be working on the next couple of weeks, as well as working on things up at the potager garden as we build that out. And the main parts of the potager garden that we've got to work on before spring comes is our beds, because there's a lot of bed space up there, and the greenhouse. So those are the two major parts of the potager garden that we're working on right now. I'm going to head up here in just a second. I'm going to take you with me so that we can go work on the beds. And then in just a little bit, I'm going to show you where I'm at with the greenhouse as well. So we'll touch on both of those focus areas for the potager. Oh, here comes Miss Willow. Hey there, sweetheart. Hey, baby. And Biscuit and Gravy and Honey. Eleanor, what you up to?
I'm running them around with the leashes on, and they really like it.
Yep, I forgot that Eleanor doesn't have a mic on right now. What Eleanor said is she's running them around with the leash on, and they are loving playing with her in that leash. And you know, sometimes Miss Willow's not the biggest fan of the leash, but the other ones don't seem to mind it much at all. And Willow will follow you around on the leash. She doesn't mind that all that much. It's just not her favorite thing. But then Miss Honey over here, I just think Miss Honey is so pretty. Oh yeah, Mama's here. Awesome. Should we go check in with her and see how her day was?
Yes.
Yes? Do you need to take a goat up to see her?
Yeah.
All right, let's take Biscuit to go see Mama.
I'll take Biscuit.
All righty.
Biscuit.
So Jaclyn went in the silky house, but Eleanor is going to try and get Gravy to go up and see her. Come on, or Biscuit. Come on, Biscuit. Come on, baby. Good, Biscuit. Eleanor is saying that Biscuit probably wants to go over to the privet. Oh, Biscuit remembers that there's rose bushes over there, and he loves to eat those rose bushes. Come on, Biscuit, let's go up here and see your mama.
He likes the red one and not the crumble up one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Just a girl and her goat.
Huh? Oh, I'm holding my eggs.
Well, Eleanor got Biscuit up here to greet Mama.
I'm home from work. And what am I doing?
Out getting eggs already.
Collecting eggs
Yeah.
from our black copper marans. And then this is actually a Polish egg. It's cream, it's not white. Their eggs kind of range, but it's a funky shape. It's like the same on each end.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad to be home. Feels good to be home.
Oh yeah, I was telling them we're back on weekend warrior status.
Yeah. Evening / weekend warrior, but the days are getting longer.
I mentioned that too. That I saw something on Facebook about how, my goodness.
Look, she got after him.
Oh my goodness. I saw something on Facebook that said that it's only another month and a week or so until it's 7 p.m. when the sun sets.
I can make it.
Yeah,
I can make it.
we can do
I
it.
can make it through this for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Eleanor down there.
Beelined back to the bin. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to be home. Gosh, this girl is so pretty. She's gonna go to a show next month.
Can I hold her?
She beautiful. This girl is looking so good, and she's headed to our breeding flock of lavender Americanas. They live up here. She is a little over a year old now, about 16 months. So getting close to 2, and she's on my shirt. But we have hatching eggs and chicks available in our lavender Americanas. They are the only chicks that we are offering this year. They're straight run. They're available on our website. And then we have our rainbow eggs, rainbow dozens, black copper marans, what else? Our heavy layered ducks, and black split to lavender Americana hatching eggs, all hatching eggs. But head to our website to check that out. We love our chickens here on our farm, and we know that they can help expand the colors in your egg basket where you are. Zach is up working on the potager garden. Let's see what he's up to.
So I took some time over the last couple of days to straighten out my lines here a little bit. Now, something about this wood, the lumber that we're using, is that they vary slightly in width and also slightly in length. So something that I wanted to do with all of this is make it look kind of rustic, uneven, kind of funky. And so I don't want them to be perfectly straight on both sides. That would be very hard to accomplish with this wood, but I do want the general line of the bed to be somewhat straight. So that's why I've got these strings out here. I straightened up the exterior of the planning here. And so now what I'm fixing to do is go through and attach each of these pieces of wood with some little metal straps. I took a long spool of metal strap, I cut it into 4-inch segments, and now I'm just going to shoot some screws down through it into the wood to hold it into place so that it'll hold its form whenever we start adding the soil into it. Got that knocked out on this first line of the beds. It's the back line. I'm calling it the back line. It's really the right side of all of the garden here. But I got it knocked out, got the straps on the wood. I think it looks pretty good on there. I alternated doing 2 straps and 1 strap. Sometimes I did 2 back to back if I thought that particular piece needed it. And then in the corners, I did that 2 strap there to make sure that it's on there really well. I do think it's gonna hold. As I'm kicking it, you can see it's just kind of going right back into place, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. Leading up to now, to adjust the beds, the straightness of the lines and the shapes of the beds, I've just kind of been tapping them like that into place. And so now, like I said, I can tap it and it's not going anywhere. It's just bouncing right back into place, which is exactly what I was trying to accomplish with that. So I feel really good about those straps. So since it worked so well on this back line, I am gonna go ahead and finish out this first horseshoe here. And that'll be kind of the prototype for the rest. And I'm feeling good about it. Well, drill battery died, Eleanor. Let's go get another one.
Dad, where's the battery thing?
Let's see what Jaclyn's getting up to. Alrighty, well, we decided to take a little bit of a break from the potager garden for the moment to get y'all updated on a very key part of the potager garden, which is the greenhouse that we are building out. And yesterday, or a couple days ago, yesterday I think, I started taking down the structure that we are going to reuse as the bones of the greenhouse. Uh-oh, we got some hungry chickens coming after us. We'll have to feed them in just a second, won't we, Eleanor? So I started taking down the structure that we're reusing as the bones of the window greenhouse, and that's right here. I'm stacking it up here because I am going to pull it out of here with the truck and a chain. Just, that's probably 150 feet or so to the spot that we want to take it. And so I'm going to do that instead of trying to take it all over there one at a time. It'll save time, it'll save my back and my hands, and I'm always for self-preservation, right? So that's what I'm doing with that. Gonna leave it stacked right there. Eleanor, what do you think? You think it's gonna work?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eleanor says she thinks it's gonna work. So let's head over this way. I'll show you where the rest of that structure is over here that I'm working on taking down. I will probably finish that up tomorrow after work, just taking down the structure and moving it over to the potager garden. so that I can lay out those walls that we're going to use, just kind of the bones of the walls, figure out where we're going to need more supports, if we need to move the supports that are already there, which we almost certainly will, and where we need to move them to, so that I can start adding the windows onto it and get it put up so that we can start our seeds there in the next, let's see, oh my goodness, it's only going to be about another month before we start our seeds. So got to get the greenhouse going. Got my ladder still out here from where I was taking down the structure. Looks kind of rough over here right now. The roof, I disconnected most of the tin, but you can see back there along the top right there, there are a couple places I missed where it's attached to the back wall. So the back wall is the only wall that's still over here. I got to get it unfastened from that roofing there so that I can drag it out of here up to there where the other pieces are, so that I can drag it all over to the spot where we're going to build it out. And let's see, so over here, when the pigs were living in this area, I built them out like a fenced in area around this tree. And so I do have 3 more framed out 4x8 pieces. And so those will almost certainly come in handy, probably as more pieces of framing. The goal with this greenhouse is to buy as little lumber as possible. And so I do think we're gonna have to buy just a few pieces of 2x4. We're definitely gonna have to buy the roofing material because we don't have any clear roofing material. So we gotta get some of that. But overall, I think most of the money that will be spent on the greenhouse will be spent in materials to try and more or less insulate it for the winter time. And then also, I'll have to figure out a way to ventilate it during the summertime so that we can let some of that heat and humidity out, because in Alabama, we have plenty of heat and humidity. There won't be any needed additional heat and humidity in the greenhouse, at least not heat, sometimes maybe some humidity. So we got to figure out the ventilation too. But I am super excited to be working on this project. Been talking about it for a while. I know that these extra pieces are going to come in handy with framing it out for those windows. And we are going to reuse this roofing on another structure pretty soon. So you'll see that old beat up roofing again at some point. We will definitely be reusing that. Y'all know that we are big proponents of using what you got, and that's the name of the game with this greenhouse project. So I'm really excited about it. And
I've been able to get some work done this week in the side of the barn where the goats are going to be moving to, and I'll let you see behind me what I did. We have lights in here, and these are LED lights. They don't put off any heat, and so we don't have a fire risk from that. And the bulbs are plastic, they're not glass, and so we don't have to worry about them getting broken and shattering on the ground in here. But as you can see, we still have stuff to move. We're going to be working on that through the weekend, so we'll have updates about this area, probably some big updates about it by next week when our next video comes out on Tuesday. But I'll give you a closer look. One of our viewers mentioned that we should try to sell some of these antiques, and we may find a place for them around the farm. This one is, I think it was a planter. It's a vintage or antique planter. We've got some other neat things in here. Some of it we're going to keep, some of it we may sell. This gate, if you got any ideas for doing something with a bent up and broken gate, leave that in the comments, because I'm usually pretty good at figuring out how to repurpose things, but I have not with this. You can see it's really bad bent up. I think some cows got a hold of it. But if you have ideas, let me know. Here's what it's looking like. I can see in here, I've got another set of these lights. These are from Tractor Supply, but we're gonna run them all the way down and probably across, but not on this side. And you can see the metal actually reflects the light really nicely, so it is pretty even. Part of what we'll be doing in the barn is filling holes. We're going to take all of this wood out and grade this. We're probably going to end up having to do it by hand, which is okay. We've got repairs to do over here in this corner. This is where a family of groundhogs was living when we first moved in, and they have since, as Zach said, gotten a dose of lead, had a lead deficiency, and they don't live here anymore. They would have absolutely decimated our garden, any gardens, but they dug up enough of this dirt. That hole is deep and it goes outside of the barn, but they threw enough of this dirt this direction that it's pushed against this wall over time, and you can see it's pushed the wall out. So we really need to redo this corner. We'll probably add a post from over here that we've got already to this area and just regrade all of this so it will be safe. We've got some brackets, some roof stringer brackets that we can use somewhere else, potentially on that potager garden greenhouse. We got a big hole right here that leads under the tack room in the barn that we need to cover up to keep critters out of it as best we can. And then we may take down a piece of metal right here and cut a doorway into that tack room to make that my milking room. But I'm not totally sure yet. Not sure. That is likely a later thing. Right now, moved where I'm not purple looking. Right now, what we are focused on is getting the goats in here, making it a safe space for them, and also we need some stalls. And I'm thinking about doing 2 stalls on this back part, not super huge stalls, or doing a stall here and a stall here. But I don't want to get too close to the opening, because what the stalls will be for are mama goats and babies. When we separate mamas and babies, if we're going to milk, we will separate babies overnight from mom, and then we'll milk in the morning, and then mom will stay with babies all day. And so we need 2 spaces for sure in order to keep mama and babies separated, but also away from the rest of the herd. So I guess 3 spaces. But I'm trying to work out the size I want, what I want to do, and I know we're going to use cattle panels and wood to do all of that. But yeah, still working it out. When we have multiple projects going on the farm, there's going to be a good many videos like this where we're working together, we're working at the same time, and just getting things done, doing what we love and taking care of our animals and our farm and building the future of everything here, just what we've dreamed about and what we continue to dream about. Dreaming together is one of my absolute favorite things, and I encourage you, if you haven't dreamed in a while, find something small to start with, to dream about. Set a goal that you can work towards, because it feels really good. It feels so good. Having a sense of accomplishment really does your heart and your mind good. Since you got an update on what I've been up to, let's go see what Zach's doing. Are you done?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. The battery died earlier, and Eleanor and I went to get another one, but I think we're just gonna call it for the day.
Okay.
It's supposed to be nice tomorrow in evening time, so when I get done with work, I'll come back out.
Thanks so much for being here today with us, farm friends. We truly appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video and you're not already subscribed to our channel, we invite you to subscribe and hit that bell button so you're notified when we upload new videos.
Thanks, farm friends. Y'all have a good one.